Hey y'all again, it's Tasha C. And again, I'm reviewing Scandal 4 5. I'll put it down and stuff. Episode it's season 3. I didn't pay attention honestly to the number. Um, this episode was packed. Okay, it's back to, I could have sworn they slowed down. We can somewhat understand a little bit more, and they were talking in normal pace. But then it was back to this. We're back and going forth and going back and forth to the episode, and there's twists and turns and everything. And everybody ain't got time to breathe, and everybody took breathing classes over to keep talking, talk over again. Okay, that type of episode. Now, I'm gonna do the best I can. Even if I actually was taking notes and this stuff, it's so much twist and turns. It's just, oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just gonna, how I'm random, okay? Just to warn y'all and y'all new subbies or new viewers that are watching this, okay? Now, let me get started. Now, first of all, we have a lot going on. Of course, we have Liv in the beginning having flashbacks of her mom. Actually, I guess the last time she seen her alive. Cause she's at job, she just dazed out. They didn't go and actually show when Huck and Jake actually told um about what really went down and the connection with the president and when her mother died. Okay, to go back and random what the connection is. Now, like I said, it's so many twists and turns, it's out of sequence. Now, make a long story short, the whole gang, everybody's trying to find out, what's wrong with Liv and everything. But you got Quinn's ass. We don't know who the fuck she wants to assassinate stuff. She's sneaking and coming late to work and stuff, and not saying about why. Just coming there, and then she still is trying to ask Huck questions, and it's like she keeps seem like she's just like poking somebody hard in the shoulder, and people keep saying stop, and she still proceeds to keep fucking tapping in the fucking shoulder, okay? So this heifer is going back and forth. Let's start with her ass, get her out the way. Now she's going back and forth to gun class. Then the same guy, Chris, whoever the heck it is, Huck's enemy and the first assassin with he tortured back and forth. He keeps appearing and stuff like that. I think his name is Chris, I forgot. He ends up coming in the middle of the episode, following. He gives her tips. At first, she was like, okay, what are you doing here, type of thing. But then he was like, I'm just here, whatever. Gives a few tips, and then basically, I guess they start every time they're going. She's going to the range, gun range, whatever, and she ends up they became cool. And then you see the last episode, of course, Cyrus, they're putting some. No. I think, no, he was talking, of course, to Olivia Pope, the man and the monsters, a daddy and stuff at the end. So I don't know to get Quinn where they done put her in some bullshit, and she about to be causing some of this bullshit, which is kind of like, it's like, Quinn, go. I'm sorry, it's Quinn, go, okay? Because in the end, there's a twist to that. Now, another one of the stories is you got back and forth. Liv, like I said, ends up the soul tune out. Everybody trying to know what the heck she's doing. You got both, of course, the White House trying to call her, to get her to run the help them with the campaign, and then of course you got Lisa Kudrow. I think her name is Joanne in this. As is her name on here. I think I remember. So she ends up actually going to the because when I think Huck were no, I think it was Huck. She was telling them the personal because they were asking like, well, what's going on with her? Because I think Jake appears, and she's like this. She just was like still kind of denial and just so in shock. She was like, there's only two people that would probably know that I'll be able to get the information about. And so she's like, she know probably your dad, and dad would just be sick and twisted and just kill, Huck and Jake off and stuff like that. Just play some sick games. So she's like gonna ask the president. So, oh my gosh, this was just too much. Now, Millie is just so happy. I swear that either she is high, and I'm not talking about some weed, because she is just like so ecstatic now that Liv is coming back to their campaign. Okay, so when Liz comes there, she's telling everybody, but Millie, so because even first, Cyrus, like I said, it was Millie who asked on her own. And for Cyrus first thought like, okay, the mistress coming here and stuff like that, that's a little bit crazy shit that he was saying. Some no liners. Like I said, they talk so fucking fast. Even if you have the goddamn closed captions and stuff, you still wouldn't be able to catch up with everything. And so he ends up Millie, once he Liv gives her right before she comes into the Oval Office, I think that's where they're located at. he's like, she's just like, yeah, you're welcome. And then he's just looking like, you're welcome. We're all, you know. And next minute, excuse me. And next minute, she wants to talk, but Millie's all like this. Hi, did you want anything? Did you want some Berry White Plain? Did you want some, some scented candles? For Bath and Body Works? I can go ahead and, fix the pills, get the best, white sheets and put some, Andre Mints under there. Y'all know about Andre Mints and put them over there. Y'all fucking there have the time y'all want. Cause I mean, she was just so happy. Just like, you say anything you want, uh, baby oil, motion lotion. I'm just saying that's how happy and ecstatic it was. It was very disturbing, okay? So she, of course, is asking the president about this secret Aquaman mission. And of course, he's like, you can ask me anything else. Because first, before she even says anything, he's thinking like it's about to turn a movie scene, reunited or something. But he really thinks that there's a chance, they can start over. And then when she asks a mission, it just record scratch. And he's basically like, okay, you can ask me anything else. And he's basically talking about, okay, everybody's sort of second chance. I'll still want to fuck with you after the Defiance scandal. And so he ends up basically, telling her when she asks my mission, I'm Commander in Chief, and there's no mission, that's classified, and that's no stuff you're not gonna find out. So she ends up, leaving, whatever the case is. And when Cyrus talks to her, Cyrus ends up talking to him. I think I remember that, and then he lets him know that she knows about Operation Remington. So the cut dealing with that story, because like I said, it's so many fucking damn twists and turns, more this episode. I guess they're gonna put it up a notch. And he, of course, talked to Man amongst the Little Pope's daddy, and of course, they're talking about, the Marcus situation, trying to take care of the thing, where Cyrus is going to take care, basically, because the whole thing is they're trying to make Liv, of course, help, still be on the campaign with the President Fizz. And then you're going to have Lepoke take care of Jake, basically. So, they both want to, like, do some missions. Now, this storyline, you got jumping as far, okay, Olivia decides to go with Joanne. At first, even her team is like, kind of confused because they just knew that she was going to go with the president, and they like, okay, and then she was saying, she could be first president to make a difference, blah, 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 blah. And then we have, isn't that special? Okay, church lady's ass. Of course, she's on her own agenda too, right? Now, she's got that other guy, I forgot what his name is, Leo or something like that, who was kind of like the second choice when Olivia originally didn't want her to campaign, nothing like that. They burned bridges with her, and that was the guy who was like, no, you're boring, you're a loser, shit like that. And he's working with her as far as setting up stuff. They still think, as far as we know, the president and Cyrus, whatever, still thinks that that she is, on their side and going to run with them on their back. But she, like I said, she is planning on, doing this independent sneaky shit. Now, I guess they posed this a tea party, or they're working with somebody in the church and stuff to basically, I guess, like sabotage the president's, sabotage, something about like against the president, sabotage him, whatever. And it was something like some Tea Party debates. And she's going to sneakily do her recognition and stuff and slide into like, getting herself nominated for running for independent presidency. And so, lo and behold, with that storyline connected with her, you got the husband and stuff like that. They said he's known for Wandering Eye, probably some other stuff. And later on, with her and her husband are, having a dinner where he's all touchy-feely and shit on damn near Millie and stuff like that, and whatever. And then also turns out this guy, the same one I think that was in this debate with the talking about tea parties against Fizz and trying to get him out of office because he doesn't have moral values and stuff like that. Here he first was talking to church ladies, if he was agreeing with him. Then it turns out a twist that actually he was a mole, some type of spy. He's still, obviously, I think a reverend or something like that, and he's somewhere in the church. And it turns out he actually was getting information so he can tell, whatever, church lady and / I think Leo was doing, and told Cyrus in behind. So like I said, it's a lot of twists and turns. Like, you got allies with knives, okay? Everybody just stabbing people in the back, and people you think, it's so many twists and turns. Whew, okay? So anyways, we'll just get out the way. So, here's another turn. Now, we got Cyrus doing two things at once with this Marcus. And he going to the extreme. We already know he's the second man amongst us. That's why he rolls with Olivia's dad and shit in the first place, okay? Now he goes as far as calling Harrison and basically trying to get him to convince, you know, Liv to go back on the campaign. He's basically like, okay, I work for Liv, blah blah blah. And then some shit. They still, I mean, we're on season 3 now. Okay, we still don't know Harrison's storyline. We know someone Abby's. We know everybody else. We even knew the dude that they just wrote off season 1. We even knew what the hell was going on with him. We don't know the story about Harrison, but whoever this guy is that he's talking about, Cyber's talking about, basically you better get something done. I'm gonna get this guy on American soil, and somehow Harrison just flips and he's looking for information. Then he later on is asking Huck to try to like stop his application, do a favor for him. I don't know your favors, and Huck is like, yeah. So he's trying to stop the process of getting this man out on Soul, because if this man is on Soul, he end up dead. Because Cyrus bring up, I know he's to sell cars, this, everybody. Like I said, it's too damn fast, okay? And I ain't got that much time to be sitting up there watching this shit about 5 times to understand everything going on. And still, I'm not going to understand what's going on because it's just too much, okay? I'm only one person, so you got that going on. So when in the end, when we got this whole thing with Joanne and stuff, and still Harrison basically telling shutting down Cyrus, when he ends up speaking to him, I think saying, you can't do that visa. Go ahead and try to pull some bullshit because it's gonna backfire in your face. But about trying to file to get him there. And Harrison said, I'm still working for Liv and I work for her. I don't work for you. So he's calling for this guy, the same one that's a danger that scares the shit out of Harrison's ass. He makes a special call to get a new visa. So it's kind of like, oh shit, with this whole, whoever this guy is. Because Harrison, as much as he talk whatever, it's like that is his fear. If fear, whoever this man is, that is somewhere over there, not in North America, whatever, that's Harrison's like, oh shit moment, okay? Or, human sign of death. So, let's get that out the way, check mark. So, we got Jake trying to get information and prove, because once Liv's left, Liv's leaves after the president still first time. I do, about the shit is signed to Liv, never happened, blah, blah, blah. Don't ask me about that shit, whatever the case is. So, the next thing is you got Jake's and his mission. Now, this one chick that he meets, in some coffee restaurant, whatever, and there's some guy following him somewhere watching him, right? And, he's getting some special information for her. She's offering, I can give you files and pussy if you like, whatever. And, if you want that too, I do other things besides downloading. I go down. Okay, that was pretty much what she was offering. So he's like, nah, that's all right. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna do so. So we see this guy who looks like one of the characters of, James Bond's villains type of shit. And if y'all used to watch Goldmember films too, Austin Powers, stuff like that. One of them type of like villain, he got like look the villain look. But looks of course are deceiving. And so right when he's gonna meet her somewhere, here's the dude following right behind Jake, and I'm just like, I mean, it doesn't shock me more because you expect this shit from Santa, right? And all of a sudden, as soon as her and the woman supposedly are going to exchange the information or whatever information Liv is trying to request to prove more to go, with trying to go more get this information on this Operation Bridgerton, the guy ends up not shooting Jake, but he shoots the woman, okay? And then he's like, check her bag. And there's a fucking gun. So it turns out this ally or this tech chick or whatever, because she claiming like, I was able to find the files. It turns out this bitch, at the end, we see this record file. It was somebody that, I guess maybe this is what Quinn, they're trying to make Quinn out to be, this chain type of chick, because Olivia's dad at the end had the file or class of whatever file information on this chick, the same one that this president, somebody who worked for the president, one of his secret agents, undercover type of shit, had saved him. So it turns out, like I said, she was a foe, whatever, and she's actually like on the side of Olivia Pope's dad, whatever, type of thing. So it turns out when Jake goes at the end, to speak to the president, because the guy, like I said, works for the president, so he was protecting and making sure, because despite the president's ways of like, he doesn't want to see anything happen to Jake. He's like, we've been on all these missions and everything else. If anything, I still have your back. Despite Maddie, as you fucking my precious Liv, and I can't. a part of him still is trying to look out for Jake to a certain point. Because Jake is like, about this whole mission, and, the president's still like, ain't nobody getting this shit type of thing. Because he's just like, with this whole mission. It's like anybody who asks about it, he gets defensive, and that's that fact. So, like I said, we go into, like I said, the church lady thing. And their thing is once they found out through the Reverend, when I'm just, like I said, it's random. Going back to the issue of once they found out Millie and I think with Cyrus find out that this bitch was unloyal, and I think President Biz was in there as well. The church lady chick, Mrs. Church Lady. Um, they've realized they're gonna come up with something. I think Millie was just like bring against it because her husband has wandering hands or something along those lines, stuff like that, right? So they're gonna use that against her. And now they're going to use another thing as well because now they besides that's going on. Then oh Lord, let's go with the whole thing with we're going to add in with the least crucial thing and add that as well too. And then I'll get to the last exact part. So with the Lisa Kruger thing, Joanne, she's first trying to be all happy Georgia apple pies and stuff like that. And basically she Liv was trying to tell her you're gonna have to, be a little bit ruthless. You're actually too darn nice. She's like, I don't want to fight. I want to hug, type of thing. And it's like Liv is trying to explain to her, there's no way you're going to win if that occurs. And first she snapped like, you're not gonna make me out to be. Okay, excuse me, I gotta go. Then you got her daughter slash sister slash assistant. We all know. And here she's still trying to, it seemed like trying to convince Joanne to still go that route of being, nice and shit, whatever. And then here's the issue point. They showed this commercial, I think, with the governor that's running against her so they can get, I think, the primary, when, I guess, like the primary elections for Democrats and stuff. So there is a commercial and stuff like that. And they run this commercial right before he's about to have this. She had interviews, with Cyrus' husband James. Now Cyrus also was trying to work on a way of getting information on Joanne by trying to ask, James, information and stuff like that. And James just like, go on with that stuff. Stop asking me questions. He's trying like, is she a lesbian? She is single. She's 50 years old. Maybe that's why she didn't remarry, stuff like that. And he tried to get all this dirt. James just like, you a monster or something like they said. He was like, I'm a monster who loves you. Oh Lord! So when James is doing the interview, all of a sudden, I think with this commercial, first Lisa was asked a question when James was there in this interview because, like I said, they had to turn it up. And she all of a sudden just went in like, wait a minute, my grandmother used to say some code about somebody's who rides a tractor, and indirectly that meant was white. So when he was asking something about applying for a president, something like that, she was just like, wait a minute, that's actually she was letting know about it was some comment about I guess her opponent for running for the Democratic Party for presidency. And then she was just like indirectly, actually, that man is racist. And this is from the commercial she's seen, like, because it was saying something like, in the commercial, they showed his hand, and it's sorry, on the questions of the world, and you could see it's a woman's hand. So in the record was kind of like saying you don't want her to open up the door. She's inexperienced, somebody in the body can't open. No, they didn't say she, but it was like this person who can't open up the door. Do you want somebody experienced? Blah blah blah, and everything else. So it's all applying like basically because she's a woman, because you see the hands, you see the nail polish and stuff like that, and like I said, Joanne, that was the last straw. When she seen that commercial, she let her know he's racist. The only reason why y'all in this interview, I didn't invite y'all to this place. Y'all had me come in. Y'all asked for the interview. This tea is y'all tea, iced tea right here. This is not my iced tea. I mean, this type of stuff here. She just going in. Then the girl later on when it finally beat, because of course they help boost the ratings because she's letting him know like I'm very qualified, I was in the war, stuff like that, because she was just like I'm not just a woman, I'm a lieutenant, I serve for the country, stuff like that, I'm very qualified, so I know about certain stuff, and it's like don't run over me, okay. And then when they had a little celebration, Miss Crimson Curls, I forgot who is her daughter slash been sister since until this a couple last episodes, she ends up realizing, like, wait a minute, you got that same nail polish on talking to Abby and, her country curls and shit. You got that same nail polish was used and that hand was in the commercial. Y'all made the commercial up? Y'all ruthless. And Abby's just like, okay, and we had to do what we had to do. Shit, okay. Next. So So you got that coming in. Now the last part in between we have a little bit with Olivia, and she's drinking, and actually there's a scene where she's sitting there and she's rewinding, looking the news clip of when the plane was, crashed and everything else. Also, one little side note: did you remember Olivia's mom when she left? She had said some comment like, "I don't know what was going on," and maybe, hopefully, that's revealed, and maybe I'm speculating, a little too much, but did you notice that when she was talking about, oh, I gotta go on a trip, I gotta get my boss together, my boss is not straight and everything, so I'm gonna have to leave for a couple days. I left some cobbler or something like that in the with Riz, and I'm just wondering, like, well, what job did Liv's mom have? I'm just saying she has to get her boss. Where's her boss that she has to go to a plane at? I mean, there are jobs, of course, that just travel, and you live in one state and you over here, and you live in one country and over here. Job. It's there's different things, but it just seems. I don't know. That's the first thing I thought when she talking about, about that she has to, help her boss get. At least if you're gonna come up with something, just it seems less. I don't know. It just seems suspicious. Like, why are you helping your boss get together or something like that, or get straightened out? Ain't it supposed to be up? I don't know. Some just seem a little. I'm like, I hope that if Olivia's dad possibly killed, the mom, is it because she was having some type of affair with somebody or something, or she's secret spy? I'm just saying, you kind of wonder what is this? It just seemed like it might have been maybe just me, but I just noticed that. So you got to live in between the show. She's drinking wine. She's calling her dad. And she's basically saying, what was the last thing you said? Because, there was a gold flashback scene that showed the dad crying. Now, we all know there's all these damn twists and turns. Because we can cry. He'd be crying probably for at least two possible reasons. Now, either he was crying because he really was genuinely sad that his wife was killed. Okay? Mother of his child and stuff like that nature. Okay? Or number two, he was doing so much of thinking whatever would make his ass cry, and knew that maybe Liv was coming and stuff, and because it showed that she was coming in the house and he had something to tell her. So he could have been sitting up here playing the role, because there's motherfuckers lie about every goddamn thing and got the nerve to cry and everything else. It could have been one of those things. We don't know yet, okay? But I'm just saying he could have been crying on cue, all right, for that, and making it seem like as if he was, just, playing. He was playing the role. So, anyways, you got here that situation, and she's asking her dad, like, he's basically saying, you got one question. And she was asking him, that was the question, or something like that. And there's, of course, she was trying to ask about the Remington thing with him, because first she said she wasn't going to do it because she's afraid he's going to kill some of her friends, blah blah blah. And then she was able, like I said, to ask, she was trying to ask the question. He just like, about the whole thing. I think he was saying something again. It was not, of course, not answered. And he's just like, let the past be the past, and he ends up hanging up on her, hanging up on, ending the conversation. And it's kind of like that. So when you got that situation going on, that's kind of in here. Now I'm just gonna go to the last scene when the president, like I said, when they're about it's between Cyrus, everything, all this stuff is going on. So here's the grand finale of this episode. So the president decides to go to Liv's house, and he is still thinking like they can probably go on good terms. And of course, Liv is still stuck on, like, basically, because he said, I think Asmus, he's still trying to get on good terms with her, and she's still like, like, what is this mission? Were you on this mission? Where are you at? And stuff like that, right? And he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. But here, when she first she was saying, bring up details, all these people, had died, 300 something person died. I know that, there's no way that the plane just like falls from the sky, like the way he was saying stuff like that. The plane was shut down. He still, I don't know what you're talking about. And then, for a second, when she sat there and said, my mother was on that plane. Now, he was second just doing this old shit look, whatever, and he was trying to really hold his composure. And even after that, he still said, I don't know what you're talking about. And Olivia just, and then she's like, she died when I was 12. She died when I was 12, And basically, she opened up the door, and that was the end. And you see the credits. So, like I said, I did the best I could, and because there's so much going on. But as we see, scandal still the ish, still the shit. All right, y'all. Y'all have a pleasant week, pleasant evening, pleasant night. Now, make sure y'all subscribe. If you're not already subscribed to my subby supporters, thank y'all supporters, even if you're just watching this video. You know what I mean? And likes also help too. And also make sure you like and please comment. I know there's a lot of fuckery going on with this comment thing. And I found I had to go to my email when I get alerts because that's how I get the comments and shit. And as far as right now, hopefully they fix it and this is just like some bug stuff, which I don't know why the hell they did that, but I ain't gonna be complaining that much. But that's just sad. But I will try to still, hopefully I can recall respond to y'all back. And y'all take care, and I definitely will see y'all in the next video. All right, now take care.